All right, so this video is all about the top 5 reasons to make a move here to the city of Temecula, California. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, California. And this video is all about the top 5 reasons to make a move here to the city of Temecula. So I lived here in the Valley for a really long time, so over 20 years now. I think I can give you a really good perspective on what it's like to actually live here and why I have so many clients that relocate here each and every year. But before I get into all the information, do me a favor, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Obviously it helps me, it helps my channel as I try to continue to grow it. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you're gonna see my information either down below the video or at the end. You can see my cell phone, you can see my email. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. Love to hear from you, love to help answer any questions you may have, or of course, can help point you in the right direction. If myself and my team, if we can help you out with your search, of course, we'd love to be research for you. That's how we earn a living, so we'd love the opportunity to help you there as well. So cool. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get into all the reasons, really what makes Temecula so popular. So I'm going to give you my list, 1 through 5, about why, which are the main reasons that people relocate here, really what makes it so popular. If you're not super familiar with the area, it is an area that's been growing for really over the last 20 years now. Where we're at, or city of Temecula, California is it's in Riverside County, so it's South Riverside County. We are the most southern portion of the county. If you go any further south down the freeway, you actually hit San Diego County. So we're right there on the border, and really it's an area that's it's seen a ton of growth, and including the surrounding cities of Murrieta, Menifee, Wildomar, Lake Elsinore. It's an area that's grown a ton over the last couple decades, and really it's something that I think is going to continue to grow over the next couple decades as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into my list here. So number 1, and the number 1 reason that makes Temecula so popular, why so many people make a move here, is just the affordability. And really, the city of Temecula is not super inexpensive to move to, but when you compare the affordability here in Temecula versus the other parts of Southern California, it is super affordable, and you can get so much more for your money. So the average home right now, you can buy a home in Temecula for about $850,000. That's your median average price point. From there, you will find homes that are less expensive. You'll find single family homes starting probably about that probably about $650,000 or so. And then you'll see them ranging, well north of $1 million for sure. But your average priced home is right about $850,000, which by no means is cheap or inexpensive, right? I mean, we're getting close to $1 million now. But if you compare that to your other options, right? If you're going to live in Southern California, let's say you're going to go live in San Diego, right? Or Orange County or LA. All those areas, those average price points are really $1 million or up. And really what you get for the money is just so much different. So in Temecula, let's say you buy that average $850,000 home, that's probably going to get you, a home that was built in 2003, 2004. It's probably about 2,900, 3,000 square feet, has a really good sized lot, it's a single family home, 2-car garage, maybe a 3-car garage, fairly updated on the inside. It might still need a little bit of TLC and some paint and things like that, but overall a newer home that's well taken care of in a very nice suburb area that I think it's a real desirable place for people to live, right? And then if you compare that, let's say you go buy that home in San Diego, that's $1 million, so it's $150,000 more. It's also quite a bit smaller. You're probably buying a house that's like 1,200, 1,300 square feet, maybe 1,500, if you find the right one. So much smaller, so less than half the size, the square footage. Not only that, it's probably a home that was built in the 60s or early 70s, so the construction quality is night and day, right? You don't have a tile roof, you have old shingle roofs, you have old plumbing, old electrical, old outlets, just all those old materials that were used, 60 years ago, right? As opposed to the Temecula house is, obviously it's much newer, it's much bigger, but you have tile roofs, you have, newer plumbing. A lot of them have PEX plumbing, right? Newer electrical. You don't really have those concerns when you're buying a home that's only 20 years old that you do when you're buying a home that's 60 years old. So it's a much newer home. It's gonna be much better shape, much less maintenance, and just overall size and what you can get is just totally night and day. Not only that, you're probably, for that $1 million, you're probably not living in the nicest part of San Diego, right? As opposed to being here in Temecula, you're gonna live in a newer suburb that's super squeaky clean, super safe, and it's gonna be a really desirable area, I think, for a really, really long time. So that's number one, is just the affordability compared to the other parts of California, or Southern California at least. And then number two would be the weather. So Temecula, the weather is really great. I would say 10 months out of the year. The other 2 months are super, super hot. So it does get pretty hot here. But in the average, throughout most of the year, you're going to see temperatures between like 75 degrees to 85 degrees. And then the two hottest months of the year are going to be August and September. And those months you're going to see an average about 92, 93, and you're going to see plenty of heat waves that'll take you up to 100 and over 100 degrees. So it does get hot here in the summer, but the trade-off is those other months that are cooler, there's very little rain. Usually we get less than 21 days a year of rain, so very little rainfall. It's super comfortable. It's just really great weather. We are Southern California, right? But the trade-off is it's going to be a little bit hotter. It does get quite a bit hotter than San Diego, LA, and Orange County, so it is a warmer area here for sure. But that is such a big plus for people, especially when they're making moves from out of state. You're not dealing with 4 seasons that you're going to see in a lot of other areas. I think that's definitely a big plus here in Temecula is the weather. All right, so number 3 on my list of what makes Temecula so popular, why so many people make a move here, is the great central location. So we are in Southern California, right? We are, I mentioned, in South Riverside County, but I think one of the highlights here, one of the reasons I like living here and like raising my family here is because where we're at, you can still easily access all the other cool things that Southern California has to offer. And again, we're obviously in a much more affordable area. So where we're at, you're really about an hour trip away, 45 minutes to an hour away from most all the other cool stuff that's here in Southern California. So for example, if you want to go out to the beach, you're about a 45-minute, 1-hour car ride out to get out to the beach. If you want to go down to, say, downtown San Diego and have like a nightlife or, fancy area to walk around, or even, like I say, like a nice baseball game, like a Padres game or something like that, it's about a 45-minute, 1-hour commute to get down to downtown San Diego. If you want to go to the San Diego Zoo, that's about 45 minutes an hour. SeaWorld's about an hour or so. If you want to get out to the desert, you're probably about an hour or so trip out to go towards the Palm Springs area, out that way. If you want to take a trip out to Disneyland, you're about an hour, going west, northwest to get out to Disneyland. If you want to get to most parts of LA, that's a little bit further. You're probably closer to about an hour and a half, maybe closer to 2 hours, to get to LA. But most parts of Orange County are still about that hour trip. And if you want to get up to the mountains, we have a local mountain range, which is the Big Bear Mountains. There's a couple that are close by, but that's about an hour and a half or so trip. So because we are such a central location, it is definitely this area is definitely more of a quiet suburb for sure. But if you wanted to make those trips to some of the bigger cities, or some bigger venues or concerts, or just more things going on, you can easily make those day trips, that 45-minute, hour drive, and still take advantage of all the other cool stuff that's here in Southern California. All right, so number 4 on my list of what makes Temecula so popular is the school district. So the Temecula Valley Unified School District is super, super highly rated. It is one of the main reasons that people decide to move here, especially when you're comparing other parts of affordable areas in Southern California. So again, let's take San Diego. Let's say you're going to live in that area buy that $1 million home that's older and smaller, and so you can compromise there, right? And maybe it's not the newest of areas, maybe that's something you're okay with, right? But a lot of people start looking at, well, hey, the school district quality is so vast, right? If you're living here in Temecula and you're part of the Temecula Valley School District, the ratings are so much higher. I think the education that the kids get are so much higher. It's just such a big pro to live here, that it's makes it hard to pass up. So most of the schools here in the area are rated 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, or up to 10 out of 10s, and that's from elementary school, middle school, up to high school. They're all really highly rated. I'm sure you guys can do a lot of research and give it a nice easy Google search to kind of see what's out there. But in general, the Temecula Valley School District is really highly rated and held in very high regards. And not only that, the top high school in the area, which is the Great Oak High School, is super highly rated in just that school especially. It's a top, I think it's a top 1,500 school right now in the nation, super highly rated, super desirable, and that is a big reason that people move here, is just to be a part of the school district. I mean, for myself, with 2 young kids going through the public school system, it is definitely a big plus, and I think it'd be hard to live somewhere else that doesn't have that same type of support. And then if you guys wanted more of some private school options, there are 3 different big, huge private schools in the area. So that is something that's important to you. There are definitely a couple that are out there that can offer you more if you're looking for more of the private school option and you want to pay for that. So. All right, so number 5 on my list about why so many people make a move here to the city of Temecula is that this is just such a great area for long-term appreciation. And obviously this is just my opinion, right? No one really knows the answer to this for sure. But if you look at those, those first 4 points, it's an affordable area, it has great weather, it's a central location, it has a great school district, especially that last one as far as being a part of a great school district. Those are great indicators for areas that are going to be great for long-term appreciation. And with how much this area has grown over the last 20, even 30 years, it's really hard to see this area not succeeding for the next 20 and 30 years. And so because of that, so many people decide to buy here in order to invest here, to own land here, because they think it's going to go up over time. I think it's a really great bet. First, you're in Southern California, right? It's limited, but not only that, you're in an affordable area for Southern California, and as those other areas of San Diego, LA, Orange County continue to get more and more expensive, the value that this area has as far as being desirable, being an area people want to live, people being in an area that has a good school district that's safe and that people want to be a part of, is just going to continue to go up over time. And I think that's a really good indicator for an area that's going to continue to appreciate and go up in value over time. All right, so I hope that helps. Hopefully that's good information for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can see my information. You can call, you can text, you can email me, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.